I just gave myself a really silly image.
Yeah, so we're live, and thank you for joining us. So, with that being said, um, here we go. But before we go any further, let's have the lady introduce herself, then the gentleman, and then myself, and then we'll dive right into our topic. So, ladies first.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, to the BS Busters and the podcast at the end of August. I am Joy Moonstar, and brother, EA, you just had the beat battle and epic this time around, didn't you? We'll get into that in a while.
Um, Kenoshi?
This is Kanashi Abominito here to say that, what the heck why the heck is, Gravity Rush 1 Remastered going for about $300 online? People must be out of
What?
your mind. It goes
Because
for like anywhere between 100 to...
can't you download that game? Isn't it a digital title as well?
Yeah, it's a digital title. I'm just saying the physical copy is ridiculously expensive.
And that's not even that good of a game, so I don't like that game just has one thing going on, and it does that one thing well, but it's not like good enough for it to be $200-300. Oh well, no accounting for taste. And it's of course me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. So here we go. Um, Thank you for joining us. So with that being said, um, let's get to it. In tonight's cast, we're going to talk Chadwick Boseman, Chadwick Boseman's untimely passing. We're going to talk about video game news. We'll talk some some Gamescom, um, shit that was revealed during Gamescom and all that type of stuff. I think it still might be going on. No. We're just talking Gamescom, and um, we'll also cover some BS, and then at the end of the cast, we'll cover unpopular. We'll cover our asshole of the week and unpopular opinions. So that being said, let's get to it. Starting with Chadwick Boseman. So
Yeah, this is the sad thing, and we found out just about the, between today and yesterday.
yeah, last night Chadwick Boseman passed away. He had been fighting stage 3, which then moved up to stage 4 colon cancer. He was diagnosed 4 years ago. And basically when you saw him in all these different movies, like he was basically going to like, having surgery, getting treatment, going to chemotherapy between being in all these different movies. So like basically this man was I mean he was
He
working
was
his ass
fighting
off.
silently,
Yeah.
and he worked so hard, which kind of bites you in the rear end when you find out that he lost his battle when he was doing so much.
Yeah, and the sad thing about all of this, well, one of the sad things is that this is where our teaching moment comes in. He died of colon cancer, which disproportionately affects black men in America. So if you're a black man, someone of African American descent, I would advise you to get your colon checked. You know, if things aren't working out the way they should, go see your doctor. I know. You don't want to get your colon checked. You don't want anything going up your butt. But here's the thing. They can find if they can find stuff early, you can live. And all you had to deal with was the embarrassment of someone jamming something up your butt. I can live with something being jammed up my butt if I get to live, die when I'm 80 or 90 years old. It really sucks when I don't want to talk about it, and you get cancer and you die of some preventable shit. So get your
Embarrassment can be only done for a moment, But
Yeah.
death is a permanent thing.
You know.
Take so so you could take a L in your humiliation.
Yeah, take that. You just got to deal with it. And what men aren't the only people who have to deal with that. We also have hernia checks, prostate exams. Women have pap smears, mammograms.
Thank you for reminding me.
Hey, look. Look. They put it like you'd rather have that shit found now than not found at all. That's all I'm saying.
True.
So,
I'm just saying that if anything, it's always annoying to be reminded of that.
Yeah. So
but if anything, I do it.
So
please, ladies and gentlemen of all ages, be sure to go to your doctors when you're having some serious trouble.
Yeah, health insurance.
It may save your end.
And see your doctor. See your doctor on the regular. Okay, if you're young, once a year. If you're older, as much as you need to. Health insurance is important because it's better to find shit early before it becomes an issue than to wait until it becomes a major issue. So with that being said,
we need something a lot lighter.
Well, before we move on, anyone have anything else they want to say about Chadwick Boseman before we move on? Nothing?
I wish I saw more of his stuff, but...
Yeah, the first time I saw him on television, I saw him in movies. I did not see him, like, everyone's like, well, wasn't he in Black Panther? Yeah, he was in Black Panther, but the first time I saw him was in the James Brown movie.
But he was
which I didn't particularly like.
I saw him as a congressman first.
Yeah, I didn't really like him in the James Brown movie because I'm not a huge James Brown fan, but I like his music. I don't like him as a human being. But then I saw him in the movie 43, which was the Jackie Robinson story, and I really liked that movie because I like Jackie Robinson. And then I saw him in the Thurgood Marshall movie, just called Marshall, and that also was really good. So, I liked him in a lot of those films where he basically played like a superheroized version of famous black people, which I thought was hilarious, but also kind of cool. Obviously, I saw him in Black Panther because, had to see Black Panther. But yeah. Anyone have anything else they want to say about Chadwick before we move on? Nothing?
Too bad, yeah. Nah, I guess this year, for some reason, a lot of
people been dying.
A lot of various actors and actresses have died. For famous people in general have died this year, so...
Yeah, this has not been a good year for a lot of people. A lot of people have been passing away, which sucks because, no one wants anyone to... Death, inevitably, as soon as you're born, you're probably going to die. Because that's just the nature of things. But, a lot of young people have been dying this year, and that's not cool. So, but that it is, sadly, that's the world we live in today. So that being said, I guess we can move on to Gamecom. I can't really segue that. I guess we can segue that, but this will lead back to something. So Gamescom this year was done all online, which was a smart move because no one is putting their lives in their hand going someplace around a whole bunch of people unless they're fucking idiots or getting paid a lot of money to do it. Even then, you're kind of stupid. But here's what was shown at Gamescom this year. Thus far, this is what they've talked about. So, the first thing on this page is Dragon Age 4. Now, Are you thinking that BioWare and EA showed some gameplay? Fuck no.
No, well, of course they didn't. This is something that's been going on forever.
This is EA we're talking about.
Did they talk about a gameplay premise or a setting? Fuck no. They basically said a whole bunch of platitudes that don't mean a goddamn thing and some concept and
I thought we were getting I thought we had a movie instead of behind the scenes.
And some alpha footage of a character build, and not even combat, but like the concept of combat, and that was it. That's the whole thing they showed about Dragon Age 4, and people talking about, well, we want to show what would happen if you were one of the powerless. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? So, the one thing I've learned about this new game is that that was a slip of the tongue. I didn't mean to say that. The one thing I've learned about this new game is that EA doesn't have a fucking clue. Neither does BioWare have a fucking clue of where they want to go with the story, setting, or gameplay. Because typically speaking, like every other Dragon Age game that they've talked about, they pretty much had a very clear idea of where they wanted shit to go and what the general idea was. Like, Dragon Age Origin was essentially like, it was basically an homage to old school D&D. Dragon Age 2 was basically they were like, okay, so what if we, instead of you, like Origin, you're traveling around a world map trying to deal with a world-ending threat. Dragon Age 2 is like, you're the champion of this city and the shit that happens in this city. Now, the sad thing about Dragon Age 2 is that that's a really good premise. It's just the execution was total shit. Like the premise of basically having a RPG take place in one city and essentially you having to deal with different aspects of shit going on in that city, like visiting the sewers and the undercity where the really, really, really poor live, and the docks, and maybe the suburbs and a little bit around the city, but mostly it's like different places in the city. That's a good premise. Dragon Age 2 completely fucked up that premise. And then Dragon Age Inquisition, which is what I like to call the world's most boring open world RPG. Like literally one of the most boring open world RPGs I've ever played. And I say this with absolute I say this with 100% and absolute with absolute and 100% certainty. It's one of the most boring and, frankly speaking, it's one of the most boring and, frankly speaking, just plain
flavorless.
It's like basically if I was teaching a course on how to make a open world Western style RPG, and you told me to like what could be set as a case study on how not to make an open world Western style Western style RPG, I would put Dragon Age Inquisition as one of them, because that's not a good game. It's boring. The side quests are so fucking stupid. They're like, you go to a place, to a side quest NPC, and they're like, I need you to find me 15 bundles of herbs. Like, this is some MMO shit in this game.
I was about to say, MMORPG levels of that?
Yeah, it's some MMO bullshit. Which, I mean, it sucks. It's not a good game. A lot of people are going to get mad when they hear this. They're going to be like, but I like insert I like insert RPG thing going on here, but really it's not. It's terrible. It is. It's one of the worst games I've ever. I mean, it is. It's bad.
That I can understand.
I mean, it is really, really bad. It is. It's not a good game. And I know some people are going to be like, but I like insert video game. I like that game. I like Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm not denigrating someone's like of a game. I'm saying that on a technical level, Dragon Age Inquisition is one of the worst made games I've ever seen before in my life. I mean, it is bad. I mean, it is legitimately a badly made game. It is embarrassingly bad. So much so that they should be ashamed of making that game the way it is. But that's neither here nor there. So, you have any thoughts on it, Kenoshi, before we move on to the next?
It's the same. It's the same tricks that they've been doing for years.
Yeah.
Announcing games, showing, CGI trailers or showing nothing, going up there, giving grandiose speeches about how this is going to be the most experienced experience that you'll ever experience.
And that you must experience for the experience.
Yeah.
Trust us,
Yeah.
we won't lie to you.
Yeah, and then it comes out, and it's either a big pile of shit, or it's okay, or not what I wanted. So, that's usually the case.
Yeah.
Most of these great so-called experiences are forgotten within Final Fantasy VII came out to a fanfare, and it's forgotten within the next few months.
Well, because I mean, it's only 20% of the final game. I mean, it's really hard to get excited about a game that's
20?
only.
I thought it was about 6. I thought it was about 13%.
No, it's about it because they added a whole bunch of extra shit, but it literally is only about 20% of the full game of the original. So, I mean, it's basically getting excited about the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 is like going to a restaurant and you order a sandwich and they only bring you the top bun. No meat, no lettuce, no cheese, just the bun. And a quarter of your drink, and they're like, yeah, well, we'll bring the other part next week. Like, that's basically... That's what Square Enix did. And they charge you the price of the full sandwich, but you only get a 20% of it.
Yeah, they're milking that, and I call that a button masher, to the point where the X button is screaming and with pleasant moan.
Well, I mean, it has kind of this pseudo
Oh no! It's not a pseudo RPG.
No,
it's a beeping up.
I didn't say it was an RPG. I said it has this pseudo fake ass turn-based combat in it, but not really.
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing. I don't even call it real turn-based combat or pseudo turn-based combat. It's a beat 'em up.
I mean,
no effing contest.
I wouldn't either. To be honest with you, I mean, personally, I don't think it's a very good game, but,
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been hearing a lot of people say that this is turn-based. It's like the Final Fantasy of old. And I have to give them the beeping middle finger. So
yeah, I'd have to disagree, because the thing is that like, if you want to think of, okay, this is the next generation of turn-based. like if you came up to me and said what game basically is the next generation of turn-based combat in an RPG, I would say it is. Let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? I would say Final Fantasy. I would say Xenoblade Chronicles, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Which is kind of a surprise.
Because basically, like, okay, it's the next generation of what you would consider to be turn-based combat. Because think about it, the whole point about turn-based combat was that how quickly your turn came depended on your agility and what skills you had, and certain abilities like the resource you had to manage was time and your MP and your HP. Well, in Xenoblade games, your agility matters because that determines how quickly your next attack is. But your resource that you have to manage is your cooldowns, which is time. So, like, basically, instead of having to worry about, well, my MP isn't high enough, it's like, well, I don't have enough of this resource, of this charged resource, to pull off this attack. So I got to build up this in order to do this. So basically, it's the next generation of the active time battle system taken to the next to the next generation of it. Like, how would you extrapolate this for a more modern audience? And then you've got the shit that Final Fantasy VII Remake is, which is more of a beat 'em up with like pseudo RPG, pseudo turn based. Like when you want to use a special attack or some shit. It's really to call this shit turn based is offensive to turn based combat because it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if anything, you get interrupted when you're doing certain moves, and and that and even if you stagger them, which is something I consider a sin, you the moment that you give them to a certain amount of HP, they can jump out of it to do a cutscene action, and then all your beeping work is down the drain.
Yeah, it isn't. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole point behind all of this is that it's just not very well.
It's not felt. It felt like like a like a faulty bridge made out of toothpicks.
It's not well put together. Um, and that's my personal opinion. I know some people will disagree, but I don't really care. Uh, what are your thoughts on it, Kenoshi? Or do you have any thoughts?
On the new or how Final Fantasy's been treated?
Yeah, how it's gone downhill.
Um,
How Final Fantasy VII came out and no one's talking about it anymore. They're like, yeah, okay,
I just
whatever.
think, I just think a lot of it was
Hype.
and people are just gonna look back at the Final Fantasy remake and be like, not really what I wanted. Actually, there are already people that were saying that. It's like, not really what I wanted. It's like I expected. People, some people were really excited at the fact that Final Fantasy VII was going to change the story in big ways, and that certain characters might not die, but it just doesn't really make sense, according to how the story's supposed to work. Like, why are these, like, apparently, if you've seen the end, apparently there's, like, this weird dimensional shift where certain characters that were supposed to be dead in Final Fantasy VII or somehow magically come back to life.
They call it defying destiny. So, if anything, it defied something, all right.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like bullshit. Like I said, I think the only reason this shit exists is because they just wanted a reason. Like the only reason, like I said, the only reason Square Enix made that game was because they wanted to get people on board with Square Enix again. But you're never gonna catch that magic. Like Final Fantasy VII is lightning in a bottle, and you're never gonna catch that.
That kind of power.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen again.
Yeah.
So it's like you're never going to get another Final Fantasy VII.
No matter how many times you try to make it popular or make it something else.
Like you're never going to get another Final Fantasy VII. We're never going to get a Chrono Trigger like RPG again.
Yeah, I mean that's a once in a generation kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just going to get one. And that's it. That's the one thing you're going to get is Final Fantasy is, you know, like we're never, you know, it's just not going to happen. Would I like for there to be another Chrono Trigger? Would I like for there, you know, would I like for, you know, the Paper Mario franchise to return back to what it was in the first two games? Yeah, probably not going to happen. You know, would I like to get, would I like for Nintendo to release a, you know, proper 2D pixel art scrolling style, you know, Metroid games again? No, I mean yes I would, but they're probably not gonna do it. Would I like for Sega to, you know, stop to actually
give Sonic a breather?
Well, I would say not give Sonic a breather, but actually make a 3D Sonic game that isn't reusing the same gameplay concepts over and over again. Yeah, but they're probably not going to do that shit. So, I mean, at some point you got to let shit go. You know, you got to be like, okay, it's not going to happen. And at this point, you know, we're not going to get another RPG, another JRPG on the level of Chrono Trigger. We're not going to get another JRPG from Square Enix on the level of a Final Fantasy on the level of Final Fantasy VI, or even 7, or 5, or 4. We're not going to get something of that level because they don't have the talent for it anymore. You know, and the people who could do it are long gone. But with that being said, let's keep it moving. So we've got Doom Eternal is coming out with new DLC. It's called The Ancient Gods Part 1.
Yay.
Yeah. So if you're really into
into Doom, then you probably get more Doom like this.
Yeah, if you're really into Doom, if you own Doom Eternal, here's some DLC. It's broken up into 2 different parts. So, you know.
I don't know, just wait for the Game of the Year edition where you can get everything.
I mean, that's the smart move, but a lot of people aren't smart. They'll buy that shit regardless. What some people have been calling the Fortnite killer, Fall Guys, from Devolver Digital is out, and Season 2 is coming up, and it's going to be medieval themed with new rounds and new costumes. From what I've seen of people playing this game, it's really good. That's all I got to say.
It looks like what Mario Party should be. That's
the
vibe I get from that game.
Yeah.
Mario Party, we all wanted, but didn't know we wanted.
Oh, beep! No, that shouldn't be Mario Party. If anything, that's a multiplayer gauntlet run.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I wouldn't say I would make an entire, but Mario Party definitely needs to have a mode that's like that, where you just fucking screw over the person next to you because you want to win.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of do that with modern Mario Party, but not really.
It's in turns, not everybody playing at once.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, Fall Guys, people are really loving that. And next, Star Wars Squadrons has showed off a single player preview where a new campaign mission has the one part of Star Wars Rogue Squadron that everyone loved. Remember when you played that game on the N64 and the GameCube? You know, those escort missions that you fucking hated? Yeah, they're bringing it back!
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Yeah! Now you can curse people out and throw your controller across the room, too.
I'm glad I don't have my controller on me. Otherwise, I'd probably be cracking it by how hard I'm squeezing.
Yeah.
Fury.
It's kind of bullshit. I think we can all agree that, like, I mean, I've said this before. EA should never have been given an exclusivity license for the Star Wars brand. Never should have been given an exclusivity license. And yet people gave it to him because, you know, LucasArts.
Yeah.
LucasArts is run like shit these days.
Yeah. So a side note, the mouse is starting to wake up, and they're trying to clean house some.
They can clean whatever the fuck they want. It's been run like shit for years at this point. So.
Yeah, but if anything, if they're doing it now, they could start by at least trying to get rid of Star Wars from EA.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen because, you know, they're busy fucking up the lore of the mainline series and everything like that. So.
Oh boy, that's a mess.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Star Wars Squadrons going to have escort missions, you know, the missions that no one gives a fuck about anyway. So there you go. Next we have Little Nightmares 2, which is coming out February 2021. And because EA just totally wants to pull their dick out and hit you in the face with it.
How many EA stories do we have so far?
This is all Gamescom. So Sims 4, Journey to Batu. That's right. You know Sims 4, the Sims game, that the entire fucking game is built around EA selling you DLC packs.
Don't tell me, Mike. Don't tell me. Star Wars has invaded The Sims.
They have. So now they can sell you a DLC pack with characters that you don't like. Here's the thing. They're using the shittiest version of Star Wars as the basis for the on the shittiest version of The Sims in order to sell you DLC. This is like, if they wanted to sell people Star Wars DLC, why not sell people, you know, Return of the Jedi shit, or expanded universe shit, or, you know, non-canonical shit. Instead, they're selling you Journey to Batu, which, I mean, like, at this point, can we just all agree that the new Star Wars films are trash?
Yeah, they're pretty much trash.
Like, why?
I would say Star Wars is trash since episode 8.
I'm not even going to say it was entertaining trash. It was just trash. Because, I mean, later on in the cast, we will get to a section that's all about talking about games that we hate that are trash. I mean, games that are trash that we enjoy playing. There are games that are trash that I fucking enjoy playing. But, you know, like, some games are so much... like, okay, I'll give you an example of a trash game that I enjoy playing. Lester the Unlikely. That's not a good game, but I enjoy playing it. Yeah. I've like, literally, like, Lester the Unlikely was one of those games that I bought, or I begged my parents to buy for me. And it was during that time when you're, like, a kid, and, like, if you complain about a game, your parents will get rid of it. And you'd rather have a shitty game than have your parents get rid of your games. So, like, if you get a shitty game, you just gotta play that shitty game. So I played Lester the Unlikely to the point to where I got good at it. So it was like Munchausen syndrome, where I started to like this shitty game. And then I figured out the nuances of the game, and it's actually not that bad. See, the problem with Lester the Unlikely, the reason most people don't like it is that what people don't realize is that the game is very much like Prince of Persia or Flashback, where every movement you make is very precise, and you can't. There's no precision in the game. You have to understand how your character is going to move before you make the movement.
Yeah.
And games like that are very hit and miss. They're not for a wide audience. Like Mario, anyone can sit down and play a Mario game. And they're designed that way. A Prince of Persia style game, a Flashback style game, those games are very kind of like very niche. But back to EA, yeah. The Sims 4, Star Wars, Journey to Batuu. I'm a Sims fan. For those of you who don't know, I enjoy The Sims from back in the day, but I won't be getting this game. I haven't bought a Sims game in years because EA started nickel and diming people with DLC. The last Sims game I ever owned was Sims 2, the Game of the Year edition, the Century edition that had all the DLC. So there you go. That being said, next little bit of news. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Who knows?
Oh, boy.
I don't know. Another Call of Duty game?
Call of Duty!
This
sounds interesting.
got a lot of attention for odd reasons.
Call of Duty! Well, I mean, I will say this much. The cinematic cutscenes look great. That's about it. Here's what I think is hilarious, though. Remember how last year they were like, yeah, the new Call of Duty isn't going to have multiplayer. Isn't going to have a single player. They brought back single player. They brought back single player. Not only did they bring back single player, but there's going to be multiple endings with narrative choices for players. And this is basically, you remember Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4? This game is a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, and they're ignoring Black Ops 2, 3, and 4. So
I'm not sure if I should laugh or facepalm to that.
I mean, like, I've heard that the Black Ops series, aside from the last one, are like the best games in the series. They're the most fun. So, I mean, I'm not a big Call of Duty person, but I know people who are into Call of Duty. So, I mean, look, listen.
I'm not into Call of Duty myself, so I get where you're coming from.
If you're into Call of Duty and this is something that interests you, I'm happy for you. Me, I don't really care. But if you're into it, there you go. Next, we have World of Warcraft Shadowlands. It's an expansion for World of Warcraft, folks.
I was about to say, I thought it was the new season of WoW.
No, it's an expansion. It's gonna add like more end-game content, a new dungeon that's like procedurally generated, that gets harder as you go deeper into it. And it starts out harder the higher leveled you are. So it's I mean, from what I've heard, people are really excited for it. I'm not really into WoW. Because when WoW was getting big, I didn't really have a computer that had an internet connection, so I couldn't have played the shit anyway. And by the time I was someplace that did have an internet connection, I wasn't spending $15 a month to play fucking World of Warcraft. My MMO during the time of MMOs getting big was Guild Wars, because Guild Wars was a one-time purchase, and that you could play it as much as you wanted to, which I still to this day love, because I'm not paying you. I'm not giving you $15 a month to play your damn game. Next, 12 Minutes. Which is a adventure-style game that has the voice talents of Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, and Willem Dafoe. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, why are they using Hollywood actors to sell you on a video game? That's the thing where I'm just like, what?
Yeah, video games and it's not the same thing.
There's only
Like,
three.
if you had a cameo of a certain character from a game, people would be excited, but
There's only. No, I get what you're saying. There's only 3 characters that you could put in a video game that would make it interesting to me. The first one is Ron Perlman, because he already looks like a video game character in real life. Number 2 is Gary Busey, because the dude looks crazy. And Christopher Walken, because he also looks crazy. They look like video game characters in real life. So to me, putting real actors in voice actors in a video game, I'm like, couldn't you have given this to a voice actor who really needed the work?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they announced Limnus Gate. I don't know what this is about. Let's take a look. It looks like some type of battle royale type game. It's some type of battle royale type game, but the cool thing is that you can, the damage that you do isn't a hard stat. So I guess there's statistics going on under the hood that are dependent upon what you have equipped and shit like that. So I guess that's cool. From Microsoft, we have Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition, which, I mean, I'm an Age of Empires fan, but the new Age of Empires doesn't really look all that good to me. So I mean, this game basically looks like a slightly up-res version of Age of Empires 2. It's like they didn't do anything to make it new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A return of Medal of Honor, but it's going to be in VR, so it's going to be exclusive to the Oculus Rift platform, which guarantees it's going to bomb spectacularly. But you get to kill Nazis, so I mean, you know.
But you really should stop. There is no future in it.
If you hate Nazis, this is gonna be a good game for you.
I'm willing to sacrifice myself for.
So there you go. Also, Unknown 9 Awakening. I don't get what the fuck this game's about. Oh, that trailer told us absolutely nothing. Surgeon Simulator 2. Here's something that's interesting. Sam and Max VR. For those of you who don't know, Sam and Max was a it was an adventure game series from LucasArts back in the day. And it was pretty good. They made a cartoon about it. It was nice. And they're bringing it back as a VR game because, you know, everyone has a VR thing. Oh, wait.
Not me.
They don't. I'm being...
It's a game about the bear and the rabbit.
Well, actually, it's a dog and a rabbit. But yeah, dog and a rabbit. Sam and Max, yeah. Max Rabbit and Sam Dog, and they're freelance cops basically. Like they live in this city where
those guys are usually the humorers.
Well, they live in this city where basically crime is run so rampant that the cops have to contract out their work because they're so stretched. And Sam and Max are freelance cops. It's actually a really interesting premise. Their games are basically detective-style adventure games, but it's LucasArts, so you know it's going to have some sense of humor and all that shit. So, yeah, it's pretty good little games back in the day. They rebooted the franchise a few years ago. like I want to say 10 years ago with Sam and Max 1, 2,
I
3,
was
4,
gonna
and
say,
5.
how did that flavor come out?
They made like 5 games and all of them were pretty good. It's just adventure games are so niche that, I mean, you can't expect an adventure game to go gangbusters. Like if I was gonna do a Sam and Max reboot,
I was about to say that's a cult follow. That's a cult following.
yeah,
Gangbusters.
if I was gonna reboot Sam and Max and make it more available to a larger,
Mainstream?
to a wide, yeah, make it more mainstream, I would make it into kind of like an open world adventure game where you have like segments where they have to get in their car and they have to drive over here, but then they have to investigate crime scenes and shit like that. But there's also like people trying to kill them, so they got to pull, like Max has to pull out his Sam has to pull out his gun and shoot somebody, stuff like that. Where it would be like kind of like a mix between a traditional adventure game and a beat 'em up and a like a GTA style sandbox game. That's the only way you could really do it. Like doing like a straight up like adventure game, even in VR, is not going to help. Yeah, even in VR, it's not going to help. Although VR is going to give it a bigger chance because then they might actually add something interesting to the virtual reality sphere of gaming and not just first person shooters and weird ass esoteric puzzle games.
Experimentals.
Yeah, experimental games. Next we have
Yeah.
Next we have World of Warcraft animated short Bastion. It's animated short, which I'm not going to show. Destiny 2 Beyond Light. They're revealing stasis powers, and the game's coming November 10th. So there you go.
Huh. So Destiny 2 is still living.
Well, I mean, it's from what I've heard, Destiny 2 has has a stable fan base on PS4 and Xbox One and PC. No thanks to Activision, but they're doing pretty well now. So I'm glad that Bungie is still forging ahead.
To be honest with you, I thought Destiny 2 was on its last legs since well, it's been so quiet.
No, Destiny 2 actually sold better than the first Destiny. It has a bigger install base than the first Destiny. It's on paper, it's more successful than the first Destiny game.
Yeah, I get you. I was just saying that I thought that they were closing up Destiny to try another game.
No, although I wouldn't be surprised if, like, by next year they announce they're working on Destiny 3. Or maybe something, I don't know. They're making a Warhammer game. It's coming out next year. It's a Warhammer.
Yeah, Warhammer fans are probably drooling at the mouth for it.
Well, it's set in the Age of Sigmar, which is basically like the it's early Warhammer, not the 40K Warhammer. 40K is the one with the Marines and the tanks and the orcs and all that other shit. Like, the biggest enemies you have in Warhammer Age of Sigmar are chaos, demons, and shit like that. Mutants. Mutant rats, Skaven. They announced more Crash Bandicoot 4 stuff. It may or may not hit PC. Probably will, but I'm not going to buy it because I don't like Crash Bandicoot. Next we have Outriders. It's that Square Enix game that's basically a Destiny clone, but made by Square Enix, so yeah. Let's see. That's basically everything that I can think of, because a lot of these are redos. So, with that being said, I guess we can keep it moving. EA also fucked up yet again. EA has released Madden 21, which is the lowest reviewed Madden game.
I was about to say, it's in the under one rating club.
Yeah, it's not doing well.
and they are doing even worse because, well, remember that we're in a transition between current consoles and the new consoles, and well, you can imagine how convoluted that could get, especially when somebody's trying to make you make certain things the norm.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Madden, like, EA recycles Madden every year, year over year. And with the whole, like, how football teams have been basically, a lot of them have been stepping forward and saying, you know, with the social issues and all that type of shit. You know, one team had to change their fucking name because the shit was so racist. The Washington team. So basically, yeah, the Redskins, or the team formerly known as Redskins. Really, I think they should call that team the Washington Symbols, kind of like Prince when he changed his name from Prince to the artist formerly known as Prince. They should be like, we're the team formerly known as the Redskins. Just kind of like, we're the Washington Symbols, the Washington Asterisks. But anyway, yeah, Madden 21 apparently is shit. I did not know this because I don't play Madden games.
Same.
Now people will say, "Oh, you don't play Madden games. You don't like football." No, I play football games. I just don't play Madden games. I play Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl, on the NES and the Super NES. I do not play Madden. I refuse to play Madden. The last Madden game I played was Madden on the SNES. And I bought that shit.
It should tell you how bad Madden changed over the years.
And I bought that, and it was shit then, and it's shit now. And I bought Madden on the SNES used for like $2, and I felt cheated that I spent $2.
Wait, $2?
Yeah, it was $2.
You thought it was that bad? And you felt guilty for spending $200?
No, $2. Yeah, $2. Well, my parents bought it. I didn't buy it, but I still felt like they should have kept their money because Madden was bad. And before someone says, "Oh, you just don't know how to play football games," what part of I play Tecmo Bowl and Tecmo Super Bowl don't you understand? I play lots of football games. I just don't like Madden. So don't get that shit twisted.
Like, I was about to say, Madden is like I'm gonna get salty here, so excuse me for the following. Madden is like that hooker that is at the brightest lamp trying to sell her slutty self for about $10. And that wouldn't even be worth it. Especially when you know where she's been.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I would just say Madden for EA is just like Madden was never that good, and to me, and essentially, like how basically Madden just consistently just got worse and worse and more, like just. Like it's not that Madden got worse. It's just they take out modes that people like. They add modes that people don't like. It gets boring and samey and just, you know, not fun. Like Madden is not fun. To me. You know, and for me, like if I'm gonna play a video game, the first rule is it needs to be fun. It can't be, you know, not fun. And Madden is just not fun. It's not a fun franchise to me.
Yeah, and that's before going into other things like the microtransactions that they keep on making you buy again and again and again.
I keep it real. Before the shit started having microtransactions, it was not fun to me.
I'm saying that's before you consider what else they pull off. Because, oh boy, they got a long list of fail in that series.
Like, I never found Madden to be a fun franchise to me. And I know some people are going to be like, how could you How come you don't like Madden? I'm not a big Madden I'm not a big Madden guy.
Madden never got my interest, that's for sure.
So, and with all this shit,
especially since it always comes out year after year.
yeah, like if Madden didn't come out year after year after year, like I probably wouldn't say anything. But consider that Madden comes out every goddamn year, year after year after year. I can't take it. It's too much. But that's just me. You guys have any thoughts on Madden basically crashing and burning this year? You don't care?
I was about
Maybe
to
that's
say,
it.
about
Maybe it's time to pack it
time!
up.
People are
Maybe
about time people are hating on Madden for how much
it's time
BS
to
they're
pack it up.
putting out.
Yeah, I'm just not a big Madden person, so I don't feel strongly either way, but I can't say I'm angry about it. I'm really not. I'm like, I never liked Madden.
For me, I'm actually happy that it's finally getting called out for the BS is pulled off before.
I'm not a big Madden person. I don't like Madden. I've never liked Madden, and I'm glad that it's fallen apart because I hate this franchise. Like, and people who play Madden who buy Madden every goddamn year. Now I think a part of it is also that people are economically distressed and they just don't have the money to buy shit like they used to. But
Buying Madden.
yeah, it's like if someone said, okay, you have just so much money to buy a game, and someone said, well, I mean, what are you going to spend your money on, Madden or whatever? I'm not buying Madden, I'll tell you that much.
I'd honestly pick a shooter game over Madden.
Well, I mean, if I had a choice, I would probably do an RPG just because RPGs give you more time.
Content.
Yeah, give you more content. But that's just me. You know, I know some people are going to be like, how could you say that, you bastard? How could you?
Well, Red has a lot of things on his mind, and sports games like Madden are not one of them.
Yeah, I'm not a big Madden guy. I don't like Madden. I've never liked Madden. I think Madden is overrated. And I think EA gets a pass because they're the only people allowed to make those games.
Which is a beeping shame.
But that's just me. So let's keep it moving. Our next topic, Square Enix and their Avengers game. Their Avengers game that is filled with microtransactions and more microtransactions and yet more microtransactions. Just lots and lots of microtransactions. So basically, it's just tons and tons of microtrans.
So it came out. So it's filled with microtransactions after all.
Yeah, but I don't know why people are surprised because Square Enix spent way too much money developing this game and getting the license, and they missed the time. Like this game, if they wanted this game to sell well, they should have had this game come out when Endgame came out. Like people aren't interested in people aren't interested in
The
playing.
new Avengers or the New Mutants.
Well, people don't care about the Avengers right now because people aren't thinking about the Avengers right now. People are thinking about, like people
They're
don't even
thinking about what's going on right now in this world.
people don't even give a fuck about the New Mutants. Look, that game is gonna bum like a fat kid belly flopping in a pool.
Oh,
That the New Mutants, look, Disney put that game out there to die. Okay, I mean put that movie out there to die. They inherited that movie from Fox, and they just basically said, "Hey, they shooting. Why don't you go out first and see if they still got bullets?" That's basically what they did to that movie.
That's like giving your show a death sentence.
That's what they did. I mean, I'm not. Look, listen. I don't want any movie to fail miserably, but that movie. I mean, that movie is done. It's done.
I was about to say that's on death row.
It's not on death row. It's dead and doesn't even know it. It's like, oh, I'm dead. I didn't know I was dead already. Yeah, you did, man.
What movie is this?
New Mutants.
The New Mutants.
Oh, is that a X-Men movie? Or
Yes. And it came out today. That's that movie that was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and they kept on pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back, and finally they're gonna put it out now. And instead of putting it on video on demand so people can watch it from home, they're putting it in movie theaters. I'm like, no one's gonna fucking go to a movie theater. Look, listen, with Corona going on, do you think people are gonna risk dying, catching a fatal virus to watch New Mutants? Look, Tenet is coming out, or I think it's coming out here in America. It's already out overseas, and people aren't going to go watch that shit overseas either. And if people aren't breaking down the doors to watch a Christopher Nolan film, you know they ain't breaking down the doors to watch some shit from from Fox's defunct X-Men studio. Shit. Must be out your damn mind. Shit. If you think some shit like that, you know what? The only thing I can say is this.
You on something high.
You know you done fucked up. But anyway, so Square Enix is essentially releasing, like, this is it's basically Destiny, except instead of generic Star Wars-esque characters, you're playing the game with, the party city. We can't get people who look like these people. We can't get costumes that look exactly like they do in the comics or in the movies. Mm-hmm. Costumes, Avengers, the Avengers life model decoys who didn't quite make the cut. Like, basically, you're dealing with with lots of microtransaction and battle passes and. Because Square Enix knows they're going to lose money on this. So their only hope is that it will sell enough and enough people will buy the microtransactions that it'll stay afloat long enough for them to break even. I don't think that shit's going to happen. Because this game looks too fucking generic and stupid.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyone have anything else they want to say about that Avengers game before we move on to the next one?
It's starting to sit
Be ready
slow.
for a crash.
It's nothing more than just a cash grab.
Yes, and it could have been awesome. It could have been awesome. On paper, the shit could have been awesome. Unfortunately,
I just hate that art style. That art, it's not just the art style, but I just hate the fact that the art style is trying so hard to ape the movies.
But failing because they couldn't get their likenesses, so they had to fuck up their faces so that it's this isn't Scarlett Johansson, this isn't Robert Downey Jr., this isn't shit, I forgot the guy's name. This isn't the guy who plays Bruce Banner. This isn't Hawkeye. It's like they would have done better just making it look more cartoonish, more stylized. And going with how the characters looked in the comics. Like, that would have been better instead of trying to make the shit look realistic. But this is Square Enix, and they love fucking up.
Square Enix in video games. It's like watching somebody trying to watch somebody go on a skateboard and crash with a hit between the legs.
So how can I fuck up today? That's basically what Square Enix does. They're like, oh, let's see, how can I fuck up today? Ah, I see. I fucked up yet again because I'm Square Enix and that's what I do. Speaking of people fucking up, because people fucking up. Sony wants to bring more first-party games to PC.
Yeah, I saw that article, and doesn't really surprise me. They've brought a few over already, and they like to chase even when they're beating Microsoft, they still like to chase them for some reason.
Well, I mean, Microsoft always had first-party games on PC, so that's not really like them out of their wheelhouse. Sony, though,
Unexpected.
Sony, it makes sense because let's keep it real. Sony's first-party games aren't selling all that well.
Yeah.
Despite all of the, hey, yeah, our games are selling well. Nah, not really.
Could you imagine the outrage if the Uncharted series, the trilogy ended up, popping up on Steam one day? Can you imagine how mad people would be?
I mean, the people who bought that shit on the PlayStation would be mad. But if you're one of the people who didn't buy that shit on PlayStation, you're probably going to be like, yes, I just get it on Steam. I mean, look, if you're dumb enough to buy that shit on PlayStation because you have to have your fix of not Indiana Jones, then, Nathan Drake, I'm not Indiana Jones. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, look, this shit's about Sony trying to make money because obviously their first-party games aren't selling well enough on their hardware.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all there is to it. I mean, I don't know why people are acting like, oh, I can't believe this. It's like, come on, man. Their first-party games aren't selling as well on their hardware.
It's like watching a shift. It's like watching somebody that's an amateur trying to be on a professional stage. It won't end well.
I wouldn't go that far, but look at it like this, okay? It's like Sony is leaving money on the table, okay? Because the only place you can sell your first-party games is on your thing. And Sony is not like Nintendo, where their first-party games are selling to like 30, 40, 33% of their install base. No, there is no first-party game Sony has that has sold to 33% of their install base. They don't have one like that. Like even during the Wii U era, like I think like 10 million people bought Mario Kart 8. Like that was literally like I want to say like 83% of the install base of the Wii U. That is insane. Okay, that's an insane attach rate. Like Sony don't have games like that. And so for them, like they want to make more money. That's a smart move, is to say, okay, well, we'll go to the only other platform that's not in direct competition with our platform and sell our games there. That's extra money left on the table. Because look at what Sega did. Sega was like, we're going to keep Persona on Sony's system. And then they put Persona 4, which is arguably one of their best older Persona games, on PC, and it outsold every other version of that game that was on consoles. It outsold it on PC. Think about that.
Which has to be funny and sad at the same time.
Well, I mean, it's funny because it shows that that's a viable platform. PC is a viable platform for that franchise. But it's sad because it's like, why? Like, some games can make it as exclusives. Other games, it's better to have it be on as many different places as possible because, that's going to equal more money. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone will, disagree. So anyway, yeah, Sony's bringing some more of their first-party games to PC. It's a smart move. It's a smart business move. I know some people are going to get angry. How could they do that? Because they want to make money. Shit. I mean, I fail to see what is so hard to understand about a company wanting to make money. Versus not making money. So, like, what should they do? Oh, no, man, I don't want to make money. Let me lose money. But anyway, next little bit of news. Ubisoft. Fucking up yet again.
Yeah. Don't tell me that they pulled another piece of BS out of their rear end.
Well, actually, apparently what happened is that the fabrication facility to make this paraphernalia for one of their games fucked up, or at least the people in charge of the facility fucked up. And because normally when you're running when you're printing a lot of stuff, you print a small amount in order to make sure that the manufacturing process is okay.
Quality control?
Yeah, it's like you print like 20 or 50 or 100 or whatever, and to make sure everything works. And then you check them all and you make sure everything is working, and then you print your large batches. Apparently, Ubisoft forgot that memo because they fucked up royally and printed apparently a cup, a coffee mug with the handle inside of the fucking cup.
Yeah, I remember that image I showed you.
Yeah. Now when I saw
God.
it, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw the shit, I thought, well, maybe this is just a joke. Like maybe someone fucked up and they made a mistake. Like maybe this is just a goof, like like one of those deep fakes. But then I went and looked it up, and apparently no, apparently this happened. This is not someone just fucking up. This is not just a joke. This is them actually doing this shit. So there you go, folks.
Oh God.
I don't know what to say to this except why? Like, why would you? Like, how could you fuck up a coffee cup? I mean,
my cheeks are now hurting from how funny this is.
People have been mass-producing coffee cups for almost 100 years at this point. No, over 100 years.
I was about to say.
And apparently,
cups have been made for ages, and how can you mess this up?
I mean, they fucked up
This is like messing up Tetris.
They fucked up mass-producing making a coffee cup. I mean, that's just simple shit they fuck up. So anyway, with that being said, let's keep it moving. Our next little bit of news, our final little bit of news, I guess we can get now to the fun stuff. So our first thing is to nominate our asshole of the week. And I determined it's between three companies. EA... Oh, actually four. EA, Activision, Apple. EA, Apple, Epic, and Ubisoft. So
my vote's split between Ubisoft and their cup and EA and their game.
I'm gonna keep it on Apple and Epic, because EA's been doing this shit for years and no one said anything about it. And the other one, they've been, like I said, it's been going on for years with them. But Apple Apple took their dickitude to a higher level because now they're removing Fortnite from their from the iStore. From the Apple iStore. So basically, if you want to play this shit on your Apple iPhone, you can't because Apple's removing it from the store, so you can't download the shit. I mean, this is like some little children. This is like some little kid throwing a tantrum shit right here. This is like a little kid saying.
Oh no.
This is like a little kid.
Epic here.
This is like a little. Well, I mean, they're both acting like little children. Epic for thinking that Apple should make an exception for them. And Apple for acting like dicks and like, I mean, literally, it's like a little kid. It's like basically like a little kid.
Apple's in more of the right here, since if anything, it was their store that Epic has violated, and Apple is saying that if you want to pull off some stupid F like this, we're gonna be sure that you're not getting any of your products up on our storefront.
Look, I understand. Okay, business-wise, I understand the point of it, the legal ramifications of it, the business ramifications of it, but ethically, it's just really kind of dickish. You know, it's just very dickish, is what I'm saying. Very dickish.
You think it's not dickish to be sure that your shop is not being screwed over by somebody that's just squatted in front of your front door?
No. I said that legally it's not dickish. Business-wise, it's not dickish. How they're doing it is dickish. You get what I'm saying?
How they're doing it is dickish?
How they're doing it is dickish, yes. Like all of this is very like here's the thing. I don't give a fuck about either company because I don't like Apple and I'm not crazy about Epic. So I don't give a fuck either way. The thing is, I was just saying that it's Epic that started this BS, and you're thinking it's Apple that's more of a fault. It's how you do it. Okay, let me put it this way. Let's say you're a married man, right? And your wife is fucking around on you. She's cheating on you, okay? Now, and you have proof that she's doing this. Now, you could just be classy and be like, look, you're fucking around on me. I want a divorce. Let's not argue about it. Split our assets. Call it a day. Or you could basically take your videotaped evidence of her fucking around and send it to all of her friends. Send it to the court in divorce court to make sure they get an idea of what's going on. Like, I mean, it's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's how you do it. And how they're doing it, yes, I understand that Epic started this shit because basically they want to change how the Apple Store works. And Apple, like people, okay, look, they did this shit with Steam. Steam caved because Gabe Newell isn't a piece of shit human being. He's an asshole, but he's not a piece of shit human being. But Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs was a piece of shit human being. And his DNA is very much in that company. So when you fuck with a company that was founded by an asshole, you should expect them to do asshole shit in retaliation. So Epic, I mean, look, listen, you fuck around with an asshole, they're gonna do some asshole shit. That's just how it is.
If anything, I'm just gonna say Apple may be being a dick about it, but if anything, they at least got some license to do so.
I mean, they have the license to do whatever the hell they want on their storefront. But it's like I said, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And how they're doing it is dickish. I mean, look, like I said, I don't care either way. I really don't. I don't like Apple. I don't like Epic. I think what they're doing is childish. I think pulling fans of those games into it instead of them just doing what they need to do amongst each other is even extra dickish. But at the end of the day, you know, they are running a business. Both of them are running a business, and you know, Epic's trying to do what it needs to do to make more money, and Apple's going to do what it needs. I mean, you know, Apple's going to do what they have to do in order to make sure that they don't fuck with their money. I understand it. I totally get that they don't want those people fucking with their money. Look, I get it. I totally fucking get it. But that being said, I think they're both kind of the assholes of the week, in my opinion. Kenoshi, you have any nominations for asshole of the week? In terms of gaming.
Video with their power hungry cards that are coming out.
You mean the one where you
have to get a whole new PSU? You got to get a whole new PSU
and a motherboard and a motherboard.
Yeah.
So basically, you
3090 is gonna be $1,400.
Yeah, like here's the thing: if you have to,
that one part alone is gonna be $1,400.
Yeah, like here's the thing: if you have to get a new motherboard for a new card, you might as well just get a new PC altogether, instead of just getting the new motherboard. Because the amount of work you'd have to do in order to take all the components out of your old PC and put on a new motherboard, you might as well just make a new motherboard. I mean, make a new PC or get a new PC. Yeah. It's just. I'm sorry. I know some people are gonna get mad, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Zotac just released their images of the new graphics card, and boy, is that thing huge. Your poor motherboard's gonna suffer because the weight of the card is gonna. Put a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, you put that shit in there. That's gonna be it.
Yeah, it's gonna serious sag. You're definitely gonna need something to keep prop it up. That's for sure.
Yeah, man.
Especially the reference cards are huge. And you know, I saw Nvidia's little video that they put out teasing their cards. I'm just kind of wondering, like. They're like, oh, we need more power out of these cards. Like, what? Isn't the goal to be able? Isn't the goal
to get more performance using less power?
Yeah, less power from more and get more performance. Isn't that?
Yeah, that is the goal. But Nvidia has billed themselves as the premium. Isn't Nvidia's thing the way it was meant to be played? Isn't that their big thing?
Yeah.
So you know. You can't brag that you're the cock of the walk and then come to the party and come in a little flaccid. Yeah, you can't do that. So I mean, basically, they're a victim of their own
ego.
Hubris. Yeah, they're a victim of their own hubris. So you know, it is what it is. But that's my own personal opinion. Okay, so Nvidia is the asshole of the week for you, Kenoshi. For you, Jewel, it's EA and Apple. Or is it EA and Ubisoft?
Mm-hmm.
For
because
me,
they both pulled off stupid so hard that hurts.
Yeah, they're both kind of like, oh, you're kind of an asshole, bruh. I mean, you're kind of a really big asshole, dude. Let's see what else. Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. Okay, so now we can go to well, I guess we don't have to do an unpopular opinion. We can do trash games that we love. Trash games that we love. Now, in order for this to work, you guys need to talk about and explain and defend why there's a trash game that you love playing. Who wants to go first?
Boy.
I'll go first. This one's easy for me. Mine is, like I said last week, Kingdom Hearts. That story makes absolutely no sense. It's convoluted as all hell. You know, you're always wondering, at least for me, you're always wondering why the hell is this happening? And I remember when I first played the first game, and I was going through it. I was like, everything's alright, and then we get to Hollow Bastion. Things start getting really weird. Like, and then it just didn't, and then the series never got weird after that. Kept going. I feel like the writer of the story, you know, wanted to write this really mysterious game without any payoff, though. Without really any real payoff. He wrote all the mystery without any conclusion.
So essentially, he fell in love with the premise, but had no way how to. He fell in love with the premise. He was like a dude who lusted after a woman, really wanted to get with her, and then when he finally got her, didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, man, baby, you fine as hell. Yeah, I get you home in bed. I'll show you what. And then he got her, and he's like, oh, what the hell am I supposed to do now?
Fail.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is just beautiful mess to me. It's like, you know, it's a franchise. Somehow it's been able to go on for years, and
leave people hanging.
Something like that. You know what? The third game came out after almost 15 years, to a great deal of disappointment.
Yeah, they really should have ended it at
2.
Well, I mean, no, they should have done 3, but 3 should have been done years ago. Like, 3 should have been done, like, at either the end of the PS2 or the beginning of the PS3.
Yeah.
Like, they waited too long to make Kingdom Hearts to make Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, if they hadn't waited so long, it probably would have been. Because people would have really gone with it, but because they waited too long, like by the time the game came out, the audience had moved on. It's like when you wait a really long time to release a movie that people really wanted a sequel to. When you wait too long,
I was about to say something like the New Mutants.
Well, now the New Mutants isn't like that because most people don't really give a shit about the New Mutants. I would say it's more like the let's see, what's a game that just like they waited too long? What's a game? Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh, you just had to go there. Because the main thing I was hoping not to go there because Duke Nukem has a bit of a place in my heart when I was into some PC games in the past.
No, I like Duke Nukem. I like the character. I like some of the earlier games. I even like the N64 ports. But Duke Nukem as a game, as a game, is very
age of its time.
No, but I mean, basically the reason people were like, well, Duke Nukem Forever feels very dated. That's because the game had been in development for like 12, 13 years. And basically every time something new got hot, they would add it to the game. So there was no set premise behind what they were going to do. And they were always adding new shit to it to keep it up with the times. By the time it came out, it felt like a disparate mess. Because basically a game can stay in development for so long, it just kind of falls apart. And that's what happened to Duke Nukem Forever. I know some people are going to get mad when they hear that. They're going to be like, how could you say that? That's what happened.
Yeah. And even if it got out of development hell, oh boy, it didn't come out in one piece.
No, it didn't. Yeah, but I mean,
and that's Kingdom Hearts 3 in a nutshell.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they didn't start working on Kingdom Hearts 3 until like 4 or 5 years before it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and gaming conventions had changed from when that game came out. So, you know, it's sad, but like no one gives a shit about it anymore. So do you have a trash game that you enjoy playing that like you're just like, this game is trash, but I love it?
If I think way back, that honor oddly would go to the Super Scope, honestly.
I don't know, some of those Super Scope games are pretty good though.
Well, I was trying to say that the Super Scope games that I only had the Super Scope 6 game that came with every Super Scope.
Yeah,
And that while it was kind of trash, it was still kind of fun because if anything I got to actually aim and shoot at the screen and watch how some people actually had terrible aim.
yeah. I mean, I think some of the pack-in titles weren't that good, but I'm pretty sure that some of the other Super Scope games were pretty good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I only had that and well, Yoshi, the Mario one.
Fair enough.
Which kind of shows that there was potential, but well, it could have been. We only gotten so much, and I've actually heard that there was actually a Gundam game that you could actually play with the Super Scope,
Maybe in Japan.
which kind of blows when you think about it.
Yeah, Japan gets all the good shit. Japan
Yeah.
gets all the good shit and we get trash. That's just how it is, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but unfortunately, that's just what happens. Japan gets the good shit and we get trash. So, yeah, my trash game, that I love, and I know some people are going to get mad when they hear this, but the trash games that I love, is I like Bethesda games, even shit ones, like except for Fallout 76, so that was a multiplayer game, but like basically everything else, I really do enjoy those games, even though they're trash. I enjoy them. And I know some people are going to get mad when they hear that. They're going to be like, how could you like such garbage? I don't know. It's kind of a difficult thing because for some reason I really do like those games even though I know philosophically that they are trash. And the only reason I enjoy them, the only way that these games can be enjoyed is because of mods. Like, I would never tell someone play an Elder Scrolls game without mods.
Which kind of tells you how much quality they have.
I mean, there are a lot of games that I would tell you don't play without mods. Like, I would tell you, and these aren't just Bethesda games, I wouldn't play Mountain Blade without mods. Because the games just aren't that good without mods. And there's certain games that I've played so much that I know the beats of that really they aren't enjoyable without modding them. Like, I've played Legend of Zelda Link to the Past so much that I've been playing it with the randomizer mod that you can download for the ROM for it. Because basically, if I don't play it with the randomizer, I know where everything is, I know where every character is going to be, I know the beats of it so well that it's like, it's not even fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta do new shit. It's like at a certain point, but yeah, back to Bethesda. Yeah, their games are trash, absolute trash, and yet for some reason, I really do enjoy those games, even though they are total and complete trash. I mean, you will never hear me say, "Oh yeah, this is not trash." They are. They're total and complete trash. There is nothing good about their games. Their games are trash. Okay, Skyrim is trash. Vanilla Skyrim is so bad that like I almost feel bad playing it. Like, I would tell anyone, like, people like, hey, man, like, I'm getting Skyrim. I would tell anyone, don't get that game on console. Get it on PC. Oblivion, don't get Oblivion unless you're playing it on PC. Don't get any of these games unless you're playing them on... unless you're playing them on PC. Like, literally, just, if it's not on PC, don't play it. Because basically, you're going to be playing the worst version of that game. Like, the worst version of a Bethesda game is on console. So don't do it. Alright? Don't play Fallout. Don't play Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas on home console, because you're just gonna get a shitty gameplay experience. A really shitty gameplay experience. If you're gonna play a Bethesda game, play it on PC where you can play it with mods that can randomize stuff and you can add new content. To make it more interesting, because if you're playing it for Joe Blow, you know, I'm a gamer, like, you're gonna get your feelings hurt because it's trash. But that's my own opinion. Anyone have anything else they want to say? Trash game that they like playing, even though they know it's trash, they're like, this is garbage, but I like it.
I'm set.
Okay then, so with that being said, anything you guys want to pimp out? Any free topics you guys want to bring up before we wrap things up?
Not that I know of on the spot, sorry.
Okay then, so with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. If you would like to reach me on this channel, you can reach me at Mr. Red Fox, aka BS Busters, at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com, or you can at me on Twitter at mrredfox91, or there's the Discord. You can always link to that. That's the end of this podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, good night, and
Don't forget to hype responsibly. And don't forget to wash your hands, too.
that's right. And stay safe. Get your annual physical